I think one of the things, not to be super biased, but critical materials are still the focal point for many trade discussions. I was in Bangkok last week when the APEC summit kicked off, and the front page headline of the Bangkok Post read, "Critics concerned by rare earths MOU." Since when do rare earths make the front page news in Thailand? I think the meeting between Trump and Xi Jinping was highly anticipated, right? We knew it was coming, and ahead of that meeting, the main points of contention had already been agreed by the trade delegations from the U.S. and China. So the U.S. removed the threat of an additional 100% import tariff on Chinese goods, and then China agreed to delay the rare earth export controls that they had just announced. Um, the way I think about it is, since Trump's first term in 2017, okay, let's say there's been 100 trade-related tit for tats between the US and China. Now, this last meeting took us from 100 to 99, right? Maybe 98. Nothing really new came out of that meeting. Some people called it a reprieve. But I think for businesses who are trying to operate in this environment, it's the extension of a really disruptive situation. Because so far, the implementation of these trade barriers by both sides has been sometimes very sudden and definitely very confusing. Um, Now, some people might think there will be a flood of rare earth exports from China, uh, sort of similar to the flood of copper imports, right, that we saw earlier this year into the US when they were threatening potentially tariffs on refined copper imports. But the rare earths market is nothing like copper in terms of liquidity. So I think it's going to be incredibly strategic for China to continue to manage the supply. So these agreements are still very much focused on critical materials. It doesn't seem like a whole lot is going to change, and the markets really haven't moved on the back of these discussions.